A new team is joining Formula One.
In other news, China's automotive giant is considering a move into competitive motorsport.
Red Bull have found a new loophole.
This new element ahead of the rear tyre.
And the FIA have finally cracked.
When Mohammed says, yes, it's definitely happening, there's not all that much opposition to it.
These are the craziest rumours in Formula One for May 2026. And wait until you see how Max is going to shake up the entire grid. But first, there's a recent bombshell we have to look into.
But if you haven't heard, there are rumors have been rushing around the F1 world, social media, that Lewis Hamilton is supposedly going to retire at the end of this year.
Yeah, new rumors suggest that Lewis is likely to retire at the end of 2026. I know, we've been hearing Hamilton is retiring every year since about 2021, but this time, it just feels a little different. Even former Haas boss Günther Steiner has stated that if Lewis cannot win his 8th world title, he will likely choose to step away. And given Mercedes' dominance, it doesn't seem likely that Ferrari will win the championship in 2026. It's gonna be the ultimate, it's not you, it's me breakup with the sport.
It's not you, it's me.
And I think that announcing it at Silverstone is actually perfect. But even if Lewis is exiting, at least Ferrari have a backup plan. I mean, Ollie isn't just a Haas driver. We saw what he did with the Ferrari in 2024 with about 5 minutes notice.
Back further down the field, Behrman.
Joe Guan Yu hasn't. Oliver Behrman into turn number 1.
Fitness starts to tell later in the race, but so far, I'd say incredibly good.
And Behrman has now cleared Hulkenberg.
Yeah, I think I put a good showing for myself, which is the main thing, right? It's difficult circumstances, not a lot of laps on track, but I think we maximized everything today.
And the higher-ups in Maranello have definitely not forgotten. Ayo Komatsu was definitely impressed.
Yeah, absolutely. To be honest, I haven't actually studied Ollie's race today.
It was very good.
Yeah, I'm sure with where he finished. But yeah, look, last year when we ran him in FP1 sessions in Mexico and Abu Dhabi, straight away it was obvious that he's a total package. He's so impressive.
And that's probably why he's driving for Haas. But he has been trying to play it cool by saying that they can't control what Ferrari do with their academy drivers. It makes almost as much sense as hitting that subscribe button. And if new blood at Ferrari isn't enough, one car manufacturer is looking to build their dreams. Literally. We have teams from almost every major car manufacturing country join the Formula One grid at some point. Toyota, BMW, even Cadillac is the newest team on the grid. But what we haven't seen is a Chinese manufacturer, and that might change sooner than you think.
In other news, China's automotive giant, BYD company, is considering a move into competitive motorsport, including Formula One and endurance racing.
Yeah, the Chinese EV giant BYD is actually in talks to join Formula One. BYD Vice President Stella Li actually confirmed that this move would test their technologies against the best in the world, but we still don't know if they want to join as the 12th team, because even more rumors have linked the team with a possible buyout of the struggling Aston Martin. This will definitely be an easier way into the sport.
This could involve building its own team or acquiring an existing one. However, the cost could be a major hurdle, with the Formula One season estimated to cost up to $500 million.
I mean, just look at the red tape Cadillac had to face, even leveraging the United States Congress at some point to make it happen. It will definitely help the brand expand into American and European markets. But finding your feet in F1 is not that easy. Just ask Honda, whose season has completely collapsed. There is some serious drama regarding Honda's partnership with Aston Martin for 2026. The car sucks. The drivers are unhappy.
We had another problem. We have to retire for the second time, so it was a little bit of a on-off day.
We came back in the box, we tried some different things to solve some of the issues we had this weekend, and at least we got out and did some laps.
And when you're slower than an F2 car in quali, something needs to change. Now it seems like other teams have agreed to give Honda a helping hand. Thanks to ADUO, Aston have been handed an extra $19 million in funding. On top of that, they've also been given 230 hours of extra dyno time. This should help them make the engine competitive, or at least try. But why would other teams agree to help a rival? Well, just look at the sport. F1 are terrified of having a manufacturer fail, and they don't want to have a repeat of the 2015 McLaren Honda disaster. $19 million isn't a lot in F1 terms, but that extra testing time is worth more than gold. And I think this is the only way for us to see Lawrence Stroll smile at some point in 2026. But like many of you have said in the comments, the engine rules are basically fucking everything up. Now the FIA are finally backtracking, and it's about damn time if they don't want everyone to cancel their F1 subscriptions. The first 3 races of 2026 were an embarrassment. So the FIA made some changes for Miami. Just check out this video to see what I'm talking about. Some say they worked, others want more, and it kind of seems like the FIA have finally realized the 50-50 split is a massive failure. Even your best driver is bashing the sport.
Not really enjoyable. I mean, it's not pure Formula One. If anything, I could tell you it's probably like Formula E on steroids.
So the men at F1 HQ have made a decision to change the engine regulations from 50-50 to 60-40. Formula 1 are planning to reduce the peak power output of the battery from 350 kilowatts down to 300 kilowatts. The engine will be ramped up from 400 kilowatts to 450 kilowatts. The goal is to shift more responsibility to the engine. This is basically the FIA admitting they fucked up. But if you think this was a big change, we might finally hear the iconic sound of the V8 maker return. Following the Miami Grand Prix, news broke that the FIA president is now pushing for a return of V8 engines by 2030 or 2031. It's been more than a decade since we last saw the V8s on track, and while it isn't the sound of the V10s, it is still a massive shift. But there is a catch. The idea is to use 100% sustainable fuels with a V8 configuration. It also means we will still see some kind of electrical feature. And the reason it can't happen sooner is because the FIA and teams are bound to the Concord Agreement, which only runs out in 2030. So in theory, Ben Sulayem could impose any regulations in 2031, but a lot of consultation is still needed. Maybe they finally realize that going green is killing the sport. Well, some teams are at least trying to exploit the regulations, like Red Bull. The RB22 design for the upcoming season features a very unusual concept that exploits a specific loophole in the aero regulations. At the Miami Grand Prix, Red Bull dropped an upgrade package that didn't just tweak the car, they basically redefined some of the rules. The most obvious things were the dive planes on the front wing and rear wing that looked like they were accidentally installed upside down. But the real magic, the shady genius stuff, is happening where the side pod meets the floor. And since the rules are obsessed with radii, where aerodynamics have to be smoothly curved because the FIA want to prevent teams from creating crazy structures, they have these legality boxes that say a curve must be at least 50mm or 75mm wide. But Red Bull have found a massive concession in the wording. They realized that these rules only apply to aerodynamic surfaces in contact with the air. So they designed a sharp fence at the back corner of the side pod.
This is pure artistry, the shapes of it, and then this new element ahead of the rear tyre, which is almost keeping some of that airflow in and guiding everything into the so-called rodent hole, mouse hole.
When rivals complained, Red Bull basically said, "Oh, that sharp edge? That's not a surface. That's just the joint where the side pod meets the floor. And since it's a junction between two parts, the radius rules, they don't apply." The FIA cleared it as legal for 2026, but mentioned it will be killed for 2027 because it goes against the spirit of the rules. At least it has fixed some of the RB22 rear downforce issues and provided a slightly more stable car for Max. I bet other teams are scrambling to copy this trick before the FIA bans it. But things for the Austrian manufacturer have gone horribly wrong on the staff side. Anyone who knows Max Verstappen knows GP. He's the voice in Max's ear, and the only man who can tell a four-time world champion what to do and actually get him to do it.
Okay, Max, final lap, no risk. No push.
And weaving across the line to celebrate victory is Max Verstappen.
This partnership is now coming to an end.
Max Verstappen's race engineer, Jean-Pierre Lambiase, is leaving Red Bull to join McLaren from 2028.
This isn't just a rumor anymore. Both Red Bull and McLaren have announced the move, and Laurent Mekies even let it slip in Miami that GP is going to be a team principal.
Had an extraordinary opportunities, you know, he's going to be a team principal there. It's not something that I can do anything else than wishing him well.
Zach Brown later disputed the claims by claiming that he has the best team principal in the pit lane. But this shows the current situation at Red Bull and that even Lambiase is looking to secure his own future if Max chooses to leave. Red Bull have now lost Adrian Newey, Jonathan Wheatley, and Gianpiero Lambiase if the deal goes through. It points to a growing disagreement at Milton Keynes. When the team is winning, everyone is happy. When the technical leadership starts to fray, the talent starts looking for the exit. And he might not be the final piece they'll lose. Max is technically still contracted to Red Bull up to the 2028 Formula 1 season, but since 2025 we've been hearing rumors that the four-time champion might be eyeing a move to Mercedes. Toto eventually shut them down, but now these rumors are back.
Do we think Max is watching, you know, with really eager eyes, thinking, I want George's seat?
Well, yeah, I think if things would have carried on the way that they were looking like at the beginning of the season, then maybe he would have been starting to think, okay, how do we make this work, or can we make this work? Because we know that they've been having conversations in the background.
And with his contract clause, which forces Red Bull to give him a competitive car, this can become a reality. But there's also another option on the table. Max just quits.
It's a tough one. I would say, of course, the current regulations are not helping the longevity of my career in Formula 1.
And judging by his side quests at the Nürburgring recently, it doesn't look like Verstappen really cares. In Japan, he literally stated that he wants to take some time to think about life. But here's the problem. If Max moves or quits, we could see the entire grid play musical chairs. Red Bull will need a new driver, and while Lawson is in the wings, I don't think they will take that risk. The current rumors suggest that Oscar Piastri might be the one to take over, and this could really be possible. You see, Oscar has an exit clause in his contract which states if he's not treated equally to Lando, he could leave. Ralf Schumacher weighed in, saying he expects Red Bull to go all in for Piastri if Max joins Mercedes or retires. Oscar has shown he's a future world champion, and he has that demeanor that Red Bull loves. But that opens up another big seat in McLaren, and it looks like the Woking team is looking for a familiar face to fill it. This is actually an insane plot twist no one saw coming, and he is keeping tabs on McLaren. Meanwhile, McLaren have publicly stated they'd love to have Sainz back if Oscar leaves. I think it would be the ultimate full circle moment, and great to see the smooth operator reunited with Lando. But it will be interesting to see how many of these rumors actually pan out. I definitely think we all want to see more rule changes to once again watch those insane last lap battles. Check out this video to see some of these insane battles we got to witness. And as always, thanks for watching.